Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbata. Welcome back to Flipping Pages, Stirring Sauces. And if it's your first time here, welcome. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. I will not be with you long tonight. And if I'm lisping more than normal, it's because my face is frozen. I had to go get some dental work reworked, and so they froze me. I got 6 needles, and I still felt everything that they were doing to me. But I didn't want another needle, so I just laid there and bared it. What was that? But anyway, so tonight I want to talk. I have a lot to talk about, but I won't be talking about everything that I have to talk about tonight. But I wanted to speak on the situation that is happening in Africa. And if you check some of my old videos, you will see that in them I've stated that Africa is rising. Well, now Africa is a giant that has woken up, and there are those who are trying to put Africa back to sleep, but it is a futile exercise. Anyway, I've listened to everything that has been going on for the past month. I've read everything, listened to everything, and I've drawn my own conclusions based on my knowledge of Babylon and the way the Holocausts that have happened in Africa via the French, the British, the Germans, the Belgians, Europe in general. And tonight I want to say that ECOWAS is the Judas of Africa. And if they don't change their position, they will come down on the wrong side of history. History will not be very kind to them because they are on the wrong side of the revolution. And these are not coups. It is a revolution. And it's a revolution that has spawned wings. And this revolution has taken flight. And I've wondered about these grown men that are running countries in Africa. Some of them have been running these countries for decades. And I've wondered what would cause them to behave the way that they behave. And my conclusion is these grown men are likened unto dogs. You see, the thing with dogs is they are content to eat the scraps from the master's table. And no matter how unkind their master has been to them, they can smell their master coming a mile away, and they will still run to their master and wag their tails. These men they're all traumatized. They've gone through centuries of traumatic treatment by their masters, and they feel that they have to run to their master for instructions on every decision they make. They have to run to their masters and please the master so the master can give them a pat on the head and say, "Good boy." I am here to say that they all need to be in therapy. And before anybody goes and says that I don't have the authority to draw that conclusion, I have my piece of paper that gives me the authority to draw that conclusion. These people refer to them as puppet masters or as puppets, puppet presidents. And I cannot argue with people about that, because when you look at it from a social standpoint, that is exactly how they are behaving, like puppets. And Emmanuel Macron, or whatever your name is, your days as a puppet master pulling the strings of Africa, of certain African nations, they're over. You better get used to the fact that you're going to have to pay for everything that you pull out of Africa, because the people of the next generation, they're not trained dogs. They're not traumatized, and they are willing to die to defend their countries and to defend what is theirs. So the intelligent thing for you to do is to get your ass out of Africa and stay out of Africa. And all of you other nations in the background that are pulling strings and playing good cop, bad cop, who do you think you're fooling? You're not fooling anybody. Africa's wealth is for the African population. Africa's wealth is for the melanated African. And the sooner people in Europe and in the West recognizes that and understand it and start paying for what you've been pulling out of Africa, the better it is for you. Because nobody talks about the Holocausts that took place in Africa, where millions have been murdered. And the French and the Belgian, they were the worst. And they wonder why there's a hatred for France. This is why you've slaughtered Africans by the millions. But nobody talks about that Holocaust. That stops. And you're manipulating the situation to pit African brothers against African brothers. It's not gonna work, because people are on to you. Babylon must fall, and Babylon is falling. And some people think Babylon is one place, one location. No. Anybody who is involved in the destruction of the melanated population and subjugating them is Babylon. And Babylon must fall. What is happening right now? You can find it in Deuteronomy 28. You can find it in 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And oh, by the way, Niger, a lot of the slaves that were taken from Niger were brought to Jamaica. The majority of those slaves are from the Ashanti tribe, and the Ashanti were known to be very fierce warriors. So you are trying to mess with some very fierce warriors, and it is in your best interest to stop. Get out of Africa. Contact the African leaders who are in power and speak to them nicely. Speak to them with respect. And maybe they will consider selling you their precious minerals for a fair price. And I don't think any of those countries should do any business with France. You see, once you let a leech into your circle, they latch on and they don't know when to stop. They don't stop until you pull them off and stomp on them. They will suck until they explode. And that is what France has been doing to 14 nations in Africa. Slavery didn't end for those 14 nations. It is a new dawn, and it ends now. I give you my peace. I give you my Baruch. Shalom. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time.